I work in a company that is going beyond doing no harm to creating a positive impact. I am Generation Regeneration.
We know there's an urgent need to tackle climate change. That's why, at Shell, our ambition is to be a net zero emissions energy business by 2050 or sooner.
To creating a positive impact.
We know there's an urgent need to tackle climate change.
To creating a positive impact.
We know there's an urgent need to tackle climate change.
Recycle your clothes.
In your lifetime, you've probably come across some sort of ad advertising a brand's sustainability. And that's because sustainability has value, both for businesses and for consumers. But what if that brand sustainability isn't entirely genuine?
Greenwashing, you're kind of looking at certain companies that are probably bending the truth about their PR campaigns and their marketing campaigns to try and seem like they are more environmentally friendly than they are.
Greenwashing is essentially false advertising. It is highlighting that a company is doing good things for the planet when in actual fact they are not.
It's 1986 and the environmentalist from New York, Jay Westerveld, has just written an important essay. It's the first time that the phrase greenwashing has been used to describe a green policy that has little to no effect on the environment. He's angry at the hotel industry for encouraging reuse of their towels to help save the environment, which actually has little effect on wasting energy. It does, however, reduce their laundry costs, and for the first time an environmentally conscious image and financial motivation are connected by a single word. Over 30 years later, and greenwashing is still a significant issue. In the coffee industry, strides have been made to reduce plastic use, improve ethical sourcing standards, and make production practices as close to carbon neutral as possible. This hasn't, however, stopped some accusations of greenwashing. Companies such as Starbucks and Nestle have historically faced such allegations. Starbucks were approached for an interview but did decline. Kieran Mitchell is the marketing manager of the Eco Coffee Company in Bournemouth. He says that traceability is key for coffee companies to avoid greenwashing.
People aren't stupid, and they will get found out. And this is why I've said that, we can claim carbon neutrality or zero plastic on our own products, but we always say that if there are any issues or anything like that, we will make them clear. We will tell people that there are plastic in this, or this can't be recycled, whatever it might be. So it's easier to make a song and dance about it because of social media and advertising, things like that. However, it's also easier for customers to find out if people are, pulling the wool over their eyes.
Carbon neutral is a common phrase that companies use to sell their sustainability. Kieran explains that actually achieving carbon neutrality can be easier said than done.
I'd never claim that we are a carbon neutral company because there are deliveries that we do. There are van miles that we don't take into account for. We try to offset as much as that as humanly possible because we partner with Play It Green, who have a massive tree planting initiative. So we offset a lot of the carbon that way. I mean, we use as much recycled paper as possible. We use as much recyclable things as possible, but there's always grey areas. So to claim carbon neutrality, it's a grey area. I wouldn't say people are lying about it, but it is a very grey area.
Alex Bitsios Esposito is the owner of Cartwheel Coffee, a sustainable coffee shop brand based in Nottingham. He acknowledges the existence of greenwashing in the industry, but suggests that sloppiness is more of a reason for it than a genuine intention to deceive customers.
There are certain times when, there are claims made and they're clearly false. Though I think more often than not, it's down to carelessness, problems in communicating between departments, like marketing.
Putting sustainable policies into practice is also vital in avoiding greenwashing. Alex explains how merely using eco-friendly buzzwords can be problematic.
Direct trade, it became a bit of a buzzword. And well, direct trade is better because we know who we're sourcing from. The coffee is traceable. It has lots of properties that are valued in sustainability, so then we can say, oh, this coffee is direct trade. But it's not a label; it's more a practice. But so if someone like me says, oh, it's a direct trade coffee, well, that doesn't really mean very much. If I had someone in the marketing department says, oh, we know all the farmers at Regambe Hill. The reality is that we don't know them personally, but it might be construed like that.
Moving away from coffee, greenwashing can also be associated with another major industry, fashion. Companies like H&M have faced allegations of greenwashing in the past, with H&M recently facing criticism for their use of the Higg Materials Sustainability Index after it was criticised for misleading consumers and greenwashing. H&M, along with many other fashion companies, halted the use of the Higg MSI. H&M were approached for an interview. Steph is a volunteer for Zero Carbon Guildford, a group that aims to promote education and create a community-led climate action plan. She claims that clear, environmentally friendly fashion options are vital in helping consumers.
So we try to find fun and engaging ways to show people how they can reduce their impact, and we find that we've got a very good turnout for this vintage clothing kilo sale because so many people care about looking good, and we are at heart, we've been trained to be consumers, so it's about finding those alternatives for them and highlighting that they can make more sustainable choices and still look good.
Dominic Carter is one of the managers of White Rose, a sustainable fashion charity shop chain that originated in Nottingham. He reveals a startling fact about the reality of greenwashing in the fashion industry.
What they are doing is very little, or probably not as sustainable as they're making out that they are. Obviously isn't great at the moment, and to kind of falsify stuff like that. I think there was a report that was put out a few months ago that said something like 60% of campaigns from high street stores that are saying they are green are actually false. And that's something that, like I said, in 2022 is just not on.
But who is attempting to combat greenwashing? Well, look no further than the Competition and Markets Authority. The CMA is a government organisation responsible for regulating and preventing anti-competitive business activities. They revealed that 25% of the complaints that they receive to do with greenwashing are about the fashion industry, and also in a press release said,
"Where we identify businesses which we think are greenwashing, we will take appropriate action."
The Green Claims Code also exists and was produced by the CMA, which gives companies certain guidelines to adhere to when it comes to making environmental claims about their products. The Green Claims Code checklist includes:
the claim is accurate and clear for all to understand.
And
there's up-to-date, credible evidence to show that the green claim is true.
We've identified industries where greenwashing can be prominent, so how about an industry where it isn't really a problem? Well, social housing is a possible example of this. Brendan Sarsfield, who's the chairman of the Sustainability for Housing Board, even went as far as to say that he could not find any cases of greenwashing across the industry. Why is this? Anna Haskins is an impact analyst for The Good Economy, an impact advisory firm that works with the Sustainability for Housing Board. She says that the Sustainability for Reporting standard is vital in mitigating greenwashing in the sector, and explains what it has achieved after being launched.
So we've just had the first year of housing providers reporting against it, and then once they've reported against it, they'll give it to financial institutions, and our investors and lenders have told us that they've started to build this into their kind of compliance. And also, if these housing providers want a sustainability linked loan or green bonds or be eligible for some form of green finance, they will have to transparently prove their performance in order to keep receiving it. And so they're starting to use metrics and indicators which are in the sustainability reporting standard as a way of tracking their progress.
Andy Smith also works for The Good Economy. He says that whilst the reporting standard provides a framework for encouraging sustainability, it does not guarantee it.
So if you're a housing association, it's basically it provides a common way for you to tell the story of the difference you're making with respect to E, S and G. Yes, so it provides a consistent reporting approach. In practice, it doesn't provide kind of thresholds or sort of a kind of a guarantee of anything. It's describing like the rules of the game. So everyone is then able to report against them, but it is fundamentally, it's a self-assessment reporting approach.
We've looked at greenwashing, and we've looked at how it appears and is regulated in various industries. But how much of a problem is it? With a greater awareness of sustainability, consumers are arguably more likely to invest in greenwash products, but there is also a greater chance of consumers understanding the difference between genuine and exaggerated environmental claims. There are also more regulatory bodies such as the Competition and Markets Authority and guidelines like the Green Claims Code in place which can tackle greenwashing. As well as this, the Sustainability Reporting Standard gives companies incentives to act environmentally in the social housing industry, whilst encouraging as much clarity and accountability as possible. Yet greenwashing still exists and claims are consistently being made. Despite greater efforts to combat it, it appears that greenwashing is a problem that is not going away anytime soon. The streets of Nottingham provide a home for many businesses. Yet it is a quiet library setting that is delivering help to hopeful up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Last week, the Business and IP Centre opened in Bulwell Riverside Library. Tim Olnick, who works for a similar company called the Empleo Community Interest Company, said that the new centre could help people with all different kinds of ambitions.
It could become something huge. It could become something which they just do along with their usual job, but that could really help someone out. That could really improve life for them. It could even be that it doesn't result in dreams coming true, but it results in them having a much firmer understanding of how they can really get somewhere in the long run.
Thanks to this scheme, business owners and entrepreneurs will have the opportunity to meet individually with specialist advisors to discuss their business and how to defend their intellectual property. The scheme also has a number of resources and databases to help people understand their industries. Mary Danzy, who is the Business Engagement and Marketing Manager of the Business and IP Centre, explains how the scheme is funded.
So the council is a vessel, both city and county, for running those, for employing staff, for having the kind of infrastructure in place to do that. But we are reliant on government grant funded money to run these free business support programmes.
This is the first Business and IP Centre to open in Nottingham, but more sites are scheduled to open in Beeston, Mansfield and Sutton in Ashfield in May and June. Mary also highlighted how the library setting is vital to conveying the ethos of the scheme.
They are centres for learning, knowledge, upskilling, and they're again very kind of local and quite driven by the local communities that they have in mind.
It is hoped that discussions that take place here at Bulwell Riverside Library could be the start of some business success stories in Nottingham. Alex Duke, CBJ News. Just off Cranmer Street in Mapperley rests a quiet, disused building. This is the site of the Elms Primary School, a school that has stood empty for the last 13 years. However, new plans for the location could bring life to this abandoned spot. Ashley Walters is the development manager of Blueprint, the company behind this new proposal.
By removing this liability to the city and creating something which is fresh and vibrant and urban and is bringing people, so that the sort of main benefit really is delivering new homes into an area.
The scheme would be made up of 53 three-bedroom, 8 two-bedroom and 5 one-bedroom homes. A recent planning statement has said that the homes will be distinctive and low carbon, whilst also saying they will be comfortable and green, inside and out. Some residents in the area, however, are less enthusiastic. Basil, a long-time Mapperley resident, is concerned about what the new homes could mean for parking and crowding in the area.
Well, it definitely will affect the parking, and also the Woodbury Road. On the peak times, especially at night time, the peak time, it's going to be even worse. The traffic queues all the way from Mapperley itself all the way back to where these places are going to be built.
The scheme is very much still in the planning phase and approval has not been confirmed. But already there is a divide between those who see the benefits of the scheme and those concerned by it. The school that has remained silent for so long may now become the scene of a struggle. Alex Duke, CBJ News.